if there is anyone who was misled Kenyans in these elections, is none other than Aukot. Why am I saying this? First, in 2017, after the disputed presidential election and the courts nullified that election, Raila Amolo Odinga boycotted the re-election that was requested by the courts. The move was simple: to make sure that IEBC reformed the electoral system before going for a second election. So after Raila Amolo Odinga boycotted that election, the plan was to first of all force IEBC, but Aukot messed up that plan and akajipendekeza, and then that election was held, and in that election Raila Amolo's name was forced. But the person that spoiled that plan was Aukot.
By the way, most people do not know. It is not ODM that caused the nullification of the first election. It is actually Third Way Alliance Kenya. We are the only ones actually who did an audit of the transmission of results. I remember challenging my chairman. I told him, you claim to be an auditor, or you say you are an auditor. Now I want you to follow my vote. I voted in Kapedo Primary Girls. I want you to follow my vote. How did my vote travel from that Kapedo Primary School to the National Tallying Center?
Yes.
Do you know we only sampled 27 constituencies? Only 27. And we produced a 20-page audit report, which we filed. And that's when I went to support Raila Odinga's petition at the Supreme Court. And if you remember the words of Justice Maraga, he said, because of irregularities and illegalities in the transmission of results, he is nullifying this election afresh. Go and repeat it afresh. Pursuant to Article 140, sub-Article 3. And we celebrated that win. It is the first time Kenya entered into books of history.
Correct.
That actually is one among about the third country or fourth country in the
Stretched
world
our constitution
to nullify. To actually follow the constitution. And we were directed and ordered to go and repeat the election. Pursuant to Article 140. So what reason did I have to refuse? If I use the same constitution to nullify, and the same constitution says this is how you go into a repeat election, who is fooling who here? The people who refuse to participate in the election are dishonest, totally dishonest. After all, if they say that Uhuru stole the election, like they keep on saying, because I remember telling Raila, and I sat down with him, I told him, he tried to persuade me not to participate in the repeat poll. I said no, because first of all, you guys have captured IEBC.
In 2022, he unsuccessfully made it to the nomination list, but again showed signs of not supporting Raila Amolo Odinga in this re-election. So the plan was very simple, according to Aukot, to spoil for Raila Amolo Odinga's chances. Why am I bringing this topic of Aukot sana sana kuchukia sana Raila Amolo Odinga? And why am I saying that Aukot is not somebody that should even speak to Kenyans about anything matters governance? In a Star newspaper, I saw something, a title that Aukot says that this will be a one-term government. And in that remark, Aukot tends to agree with what Jeremiah Kioni said, that indeed this is going to be a one-term government. Personally, it appears that Aukot was depending or responding to a video of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua saying that the government had no money. In the video, Rigathi Gachagua is heard saying that even if you hang them or beat them, it does not change the fact that they have no money.
So, if you want to hang us, we are helpless. If you want to remove our trousers and whip us on the buttock, go ahead. We don't have the money.
So Aukot took to his Twitter, and this is what he had to say. Now we know that the campaign promises were all lies, even if the hyped plan was a hoax. This will be a one-term government. So what Gachagua is saying in that video will have a negative impact on the Mamambogas and the border borders, because these are people who knew that once this government was formed, they would ascend to heaven. So let's tell our deputy president something. Why are you demoralizing Kenyans? Because even when a doctor sees a too sickly patient, the doctor always gives a reassuring message to the sickly patient, because he has a duty to save lives. What Gachagua said in that video was totally negative and uncalled for, because especially the people in the Mount Kenya province, they knew that this government would take them somewhere. But what Rigathi Gachagua has said, and I think this is a deliberate plan, so Gachagua has been sent to pass that message so that the people within the Mount Kenya waone kama Gachagua ndiye anaharibu hii issue, and that the president is focused on building the nation. Well, let me make another reference to EKURU Aukot. Probably I should just focus on asking him something. Why didn't you support the Uhuru's call when Uhuru said back then that mtajionea? That is what Uhuru said, a remark that he left us, mtajionea. So I think one of the leaders who we should not even take seriously is EKURU Aukot, because right now is confirming that what Uhuru said was actually true, and that probably the campaign promises that William Samoei Ruto made were pure lies, and that's what he referred to as a hoax. And maybe he's trying to tell us indirectly that he agrees with what Raila Amolo Odinga says, even though we as Kenyans still think that EKURU Aukot is one person who should be considered as a watermelon, because he doesn't have a stand. A leader is supposed to have a stand, because as normal Kenyans we're supposed to follow leaders, but if a leader does not have a stand of his own, then whom are we going to follow? Probably that's the reason why many of Kenyans still follow Raila Amolo Odinga, because he's always had a consistency in what he wants for Kenyans, and that's the reason why the number of supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga will never end, even if they steal elections from him. The growing of this rebellion will still be a thing of the day. Many people are still going to see this revolution that has been seen. Probably what we saw in Kibra is a growing revolution. What we saw in the Jacaranda Stadium, the Jacaranda ground, is a growing revolution. So these are not things that the Kenya Kwanza should take lightly. And I think it's confirmed in EKURU Aukot's tweet that whatever these people said were pure lies. But despite the fact that I agree with what EKURU Aukot says, I don't support EKURU Aukot, because he's a leader who seems to be a clear definition of a watermelon. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly share what your views are below the comment section there. I'd like to hear what you have to say regarding this tweet from EKURU Aukot. And once again, please subscribe to this channel, give us a like, you can hit the notification bell so that every time we upload such videos, you will always become the first person to get notified. Now, ladies and gentlemen, kindly stay safe and stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.